The Flash Season 4 sees the Star Labs team reeling from the loss of Barry Allen and struggling to protect the city in his absence. We've got the cast here with more details on the future of Central City.
So Season 4 for Iris, she's, they've defeated Savitar, but Barry has gone into the Speed Force, and it picks up 6 months later. She and all of Team Flash are trying to kind of, pick up the slack and figure out how to continue to protect Central City without Barry Allen. And Iris kind of steps into this leader position for Team Flash, which is really cool. We're going to see her, kind of at the mantle for Team Flash next season.
It's been 6 months since Barry sacrificed himself to the Speed Force, but Barry is still in the Speed Force at this point. And for Barry, though, it hasn't been 6 months. In the Speed Force, time is kind of non-linear, so he's been experiencing his entire life from start to finish, kind of infinity times over. So I think in some ways he's kind of had an awakening as a person, but he's also discombobulated and scrambled when he comes out.
Well, in the Season 4 premiere, we start 6 months after where we left off Season 3, and Team Flash has a little bit of a different dynamic this year. Barry's gone, so everybody has stepped up and taken on different roles. Iris is the team leader. She's really directing the traffic with Vibe and Kid Flash, and to some extent Joe as well. So they're all working together to take down all the bad guys, but they still want Barry back.
At the beginning of Season 4, Cisco's out on the field with Kid Flash a lot. It's like Kid Flash and Vibe with Joe West and Iris behind the console. She's taken up that mantle where doing most of what Cisco used to do at Star Labs in the Cortex. And in spite of all their efforts to keep the city safe, bad guys are getting away, and they come across a pretty formidable foe in that first episode that sort of forces them to have to replace that lost dynamic that used to be Barry. And so that's mostly what Season 4 is about recapturing that.
Central City doesn't necessarily change. There's still metahumans, there's still bad guys out there, the city still needs protecting. It just changes in the fact that we have to now get a little creative in how we protect the city because Barry isn't here. So Kid Flash steps up, Cisco's doing the best he can, Joe and myself.
We're obviously reeling from losing Barry to the Speed Force, and I'm super worried about the two kids that are still here on Earth. Iris in particular, because she lost her fiance, but there's still metas, there's still crimes going on in Central City, so we do have to concentrate on that work. So Iris steps up, becomes a leader at Star Labs, and starts sending Kid Flash, Vibe, and myself out into the streets to do the work that Barry can't do.
Well, it's basically Flash versus the Thinker. So he has a grand plan. He has an opinion about humanity and what is going wrong with it, and how the Flash, he has to figure out a way to take the Flash down in order to see that plan to fruition. So it's a little bit different than the last 3 seasons. There's not as much fisticuffs with the villain. It's more of a mind game, which is a lot of fun to write.
And it's actually, in my opinion, a super interesting and very appropriate villain to go after in this time, because we live in the information age, and this villain, the Thinker, is all about intellect. He's all about the inner workings of the brain.
For Barry, it means that I think he has a chance to let go of not only all the loss that he's had in his life, but the mistakes that he's made the past couple years, specifically last year, that kind of sent everyone on the spiral that Season 3 was. And I think Barry had built up a lot of guilt because it was his fault from the time travel and the repercussions and everything. And I think now we can get back to our roots and have more fun, and Barry can be the kind of optimistic leader he had been and enjoy his powers and have fun with them.
That's a tease for what's in store for the fastest man alive. But if you need more Scarlet Speedster in your life before the Season 4 premiere, then check out The Flash, The Rebirth Collection in stores right now. See you tomorrow, Super Friends.